All right, so I talked about the generic version of these different properties. I'm going to go ahead and work through a few of those. Commutative, you can see this. We're going to have, if I have 3 plus 5, that is going to be the same as 5 plus 3, which will sum up to 8. If I have an x plus 4, that's going to be the same as if I had 4 plus x. And that is as good as that one's going to get. We don't know what that x value is. So multiplication, this is our addition for commutative. Our multiplication would be, if I have 3 times 4, that's going to be the same as if I said 4 times 3, which will give me 12. And if I have x plus, or times 7, that's going to be the same as saying 7 times x. And the best we could write that is 7x. So that is commutative. Associative, we can do that. Associative, if I have 3 plus 4 plus 5, and I'm adding my 3 plus 4 first, it's the same as though I said 3 plus, and then I add my 4 plus 5 first. All right. In this case, I have a 7 plus 5. Here I have a 3 plus 9, and those are going to both get me to 12. Right? So both of these answers will get me to the same place. For my multiplication, if I have 2 times 3 times 4, that's going to be the same as if I said 2 and then multiplied that by 3 times 4. Quite the odd star there. Let me go ahead and rewrite that. So there we go. So in this case, I have a 6 times a 4. And here I have a 2 times a 12. And both of those are going to get me a 24. So that hopefully convinces you that associative property also works. All right, for our identity property, I'm going to say I expect everybody knows that no matter what number I multiply by 1, I'm going to have that same number back. The same way if I add 0 to something, I'm still going to have that original number back, right? So I'm not going to spend the time to spell that out in any more detail than that. Multiplication property of 0, again, any number multiplied by 0 is going to give you 0, so that's pretty straightforward. The additive inverse and the multiplicative inverse, hopefully that makes sense, but let me go ahead and we'll quick do one of each. So for my addition, if I have -4, and I add the opposite of -4, which is going to be a +4, that's going to give me a 0. For multiplication, if I take 7 and I multiply that by 1/7, right, that's going to give me a 7/7, which is nothing more than a 1. So hopefully you're convinced that that's also true. The distributive property, I'm going to go ahead and show that. And then I think I'm going to end this video and move on to exponents, and we'll cover some information there. So distributive property. and I'm going to do one with a variable and one without. So if I have 3 times 4 plus 5, all right, I can go ahead, and this is, I am going to say, this is out of order for our order of operations. It's true, but it's making your life harder to do it this way. But I'm going to go through the process to show that that actually will work. So I'm going to have a 3 times my 4 plus, I'm going to have a 3 times my 5. All right? And that's going to give me 12 plus 15, which ultimately becomes a 27. Now, if I were to go ahead and add these together and then multiply by 3, which would be the proper way given our order of operations, that's going to give us 3 times 9, which is also 27. So you can see that it works, but it does make more work for you if you're doing it using the distributive property and you have 2 actual numbers. Now where this becomes handy is if I have 3 times x plus 4. Right? Now, I can't combine these two. I don't know what x is. So the best I can do is I can actually multiply these guys out. So I have 3x, right? 3 times x is going to get me 3x, plus my 3 times 4. So I wind up with 3x plus 12. And that's as good as that's going to get. All right, I'm going to stop here, and we're going to go ahead and pick up with some exponents here in just a moment.